And we are live. Welcome everybody to another episode of You Know What? Let me just say podcast. I am your host Ray. With me as always, you have Dion
So,
and we have Crystal.
Hola.
How are y'all doing today?
Good.
I see Dion having father time with his kids in the back room.
no, that's them playing in the next room.
Okay. Before we start, I do want to ask y'all a question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how strong is your pride?
Hmm. Let Dion go first.
I don't know how to answer that. How strong is my part? I don't know how to answer that.
You're
I don't. I mean, I don't see myself as a prideful person, but uh,
D Wolf has entered the chat. How you doing, D Wolf?
Hey, I'm good. What's good, guys?
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna ask Crystal and Dion. On a scale of 1 to 10, how strong is your pride?
Hmm. I'd say around 8.
That's 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 nice. I don't know. I feel okay. I have this thing where even though like even at my brokers, I do not like women paying for me, and I don't know. And some people say I should stop doing that, 'cause especially if someone wants to do nice for me. But I do not like it when women pay for me. I don't know. Is there something wrong with me, or is that just, or I don't know. Y'all think there's something wrong with that or no?
It depends.
No.
It just honestly.
Go ahead.
shit. Me personally, shit. Treat me, baby. Especially if we've been talking for a while, and 9 times out of 10, I didn't pay for every time we done we done did something. Oh yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, but
What you got?
I don't
What you
mind
got in
paying.
mind?
I do that, but I don't mind paying for things for women, like especially if I really, really, really like you. But when they try to return the favor, I just do not like accepting it.
Yeah, for me, I always have the instinct to do it, you know. But if they say, "Oh, I got it," I'm always like, "You sure?" Because really and truly, I'm always willing to do it. It's like when it's a woman, it's like you're always willing to do it. You always have that instinct. I don't think it's I don't think it's pride or anything. I think it's like just a male instinct to do for, you know. And if you're with a woman you're attracted to, you want to do for her, so you want to pay. But if she like jumps in and you're like, "Oh, I got this," I'm like, for me, I'm like, okay, well, at least I know I would have done it.
I was always kind of raised when it came to dealing with women just to kind of treat them as equals. So if they want to do something for me, spend a little bit of money, buy me a little something, something, whatever. Okay, I accept. I'm not gonna fight with you about it,
See, I
especially in the
tried.
case where I didn't spend money on them. So fair
You
is
know,
fair.
it's funny because like I'm trying to learn how to not fight people about that. It's because I've been on a couple of dates where like the girl doesn't mind paying for both of us.
Hmm.
And I'm just like, no. It's like we both know I got it and all that other stuff. But this one girl, she wanted, and this happened years ago. She wanted to pay for the stuff, and like, I don't want to say I fought her, but it's just like I just did not want her to pay for my date. And then, like, even
See,
though we
here's
had a good
the
time, she was like, I hope your credit card declines and stuff. But she said that as a joke. Like,
oh,
she
that's
didn't take
going
it
to
serious.
be. But see, what I know a lot of women will do on dates, they'll offer to pay just to see if the dude will let them pay. And if the dude
Yeah.
just sits back and lets the woman pay for the date, there is no second date.
Right. Well, I didn't answer. I guess my pride is it's like a 6 when I have to be vulnerable, but when it's just on me, it's a 10. Um, and I get it. I get it. On the first date, you want to prove that you can provide for the woman, but when it comes time to like later on, if you guys make it past the 3-month mark, um, you should let the woman pay. You should let to so she feels like she can give you something as well. Because a lot of women, when they get into relationships, they think sex is all that they have to bring to the table. No, it's a give and take. It has to be balanced. So, say for instance, you lose your job, God forbid, and she has to step up and have your back in a moment that you financially is not secure. You have to have a woman in your life that's willing to do that and not selfish financially in any aspect, but know that who's leading in the relationship. She should never bring up that she did this and she did that. That's the only thing. But if you're a man and you're like, okay, well, in a relationship, I need to pay for everything, even if she pays. I'm sorry, even if she works for her own money, she needs to keep it and pocket it. Well, that's your relationship. I don't think it's going to break it, but just know a given and giving and receiving is a balanced relationship.
Facts.
I agree with like everything you said. The problem is like when I ask you the scale of 1 to 10, sometimes I feel like my shit is like Super Saiyan pride, where it's just like I'm very stubborn. Like I've like one it's one thing have noticed about like when I'm want to do something, I don't ask for help, or I would rather like do it on my own instead of just try to ask for help. It's like it's gone to a point where I say I know like pride will be my death, the death of me, and all that other stuff, and like it's like so hard to break that for me. Like it's like I do not like asking for help. That's why I was asking y'all. It's like do y'all usually ask for help, or are y'all usually like that as well?
Not at all. I used to get in trouble. My mom used to get mad at me for not asking for
Last
help when
resort.
I needed it. So
Last resort.
yeah, exactly.
Well, I think everybody goes through a sense of betrayal syndrome, meaning that the reason why, even me in some aspects, when it came to my kids, when I was a first time mom, I never asked for help, but it was a lot of help that I needed. And I did pay for it in the end by making mistakes with my kids, God forbid, but I was able to correct it. But I could have avoided all of that crap as long as I was asking for help because I didn't want nobody telling me I'm not a good mom. So I didn't ask for the help that I needed, or if I had questions, I didn't ask nobody because I didn't want anyone to bring up in my face, oh, remember that time I helped you? Nobody wants to go through that.
Especially if you're not the one doing it. Like I would never do that to a person. It's like if I help you, that's just off GP. So if I would never like bring it in your face. It's just, but I know a lot of people that does that. It's just
But I understand. I understand where you're coming from because everybody has their own time to heal. And it's very big. I think betrayal syndrome should be brought up in a lot of conversations when relationships happen or if someone states that they're your friend. They have to understand that you're not going to ask for help and they have to understand that and not tiptoe around you. Just know not to catch your attitude when you don't want help.
Right.
yeah. I did what I did learn is to stop catching the attitude when people did ask for help because I was like 10 years ago. It's just like I catch an attitude because I did not like people. Like when I tell you, like it was like 10 years ago, it was like 10 times worse. That's why I usually say like I got this saying pride and some shit like that. That shit is like really hard headed and stubborn. So like now I done cooled down, but 10 years ago, it's just like woo. I would not let you help me if especially if I felt like I got it.
Hmm.
Okay, so on to the topics. The first one I want to talk about, Juneteenth is now an official holiday. Is this a win or a loss for y'all?
Oh shit.
Father done into the chat.
The-
I
How you doing, Father?
had a good day today, Ray. I had a pleasant day today.
all well, all I'm saying about the Juneteenth thing is this. On one hand, you know, kind of glad for that acknowledgement, but at the same time, the thought of white people having a day off on the day that our ancestors were supposed to be, free from slavery or whatever, something about that doesn't sit right with me. It's just for me. I want to be like, no, this is our day. Take y'all asses to work. Am I wrong?
I think a lot of people feel like that. I don't think you know. I don't think you're the only one. I think a lot of people are like that. I don't want to see the fake symbolism. I think that's what I'm like. I'm glad it's looked at as an official holiday. I do think it's a W, but with that W, I know it's going to come with a lot of fake symbolism and people like faking their care, and then the other people was just like, why the fuck is this a holiday to begin with? You got to deal with them knuckleheads. But other than that, I do think it's a win. It's just like I'm just ready for the stupid shit we have to deal with.
Right. It's
Nah,
it's it's one of them double-edged sword kind of thing.
I actually agree with Ray because now what they can do is they can like since now that it's a national holiday, they're gonna fake care, and then you got to deal with people that are gonna fake care. I think that's what he's trying to say.
Yes.
Because it's like, oh, okay, so now that Juneteenth is a national holiday, now you care. Now you want to look into black issues. Like, okay.
What about you, Crystal? How do you feel?
I feel that June 10th is just pushing the agenda of BLM and to cover up the main things that we need to pass in the government. I feel like
I
this is just putting a band-aid on a lot of issues that,
I was just thinking to myself, this is probably something that was done just to get people off their ass about that Asian hate bill.
yeah, I mean, it's funny how you can be so, well, not you, but the government could be so easily to pass a bill that we've been talking about June 10th for how long now? And it's kind of like taken away from what they need to pass to really add to uplifting Black people in, across the country. So I see this as a way for them to push another agenda or to cover up what the main issues of what we're asking. It's kind of like someone's teaching you how to love them and you're giving them what you think they need to shut them up because you're never going to do what they're asking you to do. That's how I feel it is. That's a bad scenario when it comes to the government and people, but you get what I'm saying.
That
D Wolf, what about you?
Well, Juneteenth was nothing I used to really think about. It doesn't really move the needle. It didn't really come into my mind until last year when I was living with a friend and she was having a backyard party and it was a Juneteenth party. I was like, a Juneteenth party. I'm like, and I was thinking about that fact. I'm like, how come I never really heard about this? I may have heard it, but it's not, it's not in my mind as if something that I was really thinking about celebrating or hearing about
yeah,
people
because it was
celebrating.
an unofficial thing.
Yeah. So, and then when I think back, I'm like, when did this start to become more mainstream? And you see who's signing to make it a federal holiday now, conveniently, when this was something that was supposed to be recognized forever. Like what happened last year? So yeah.
But Father, what are you always talking about? That abusive love hate relationship between black folks and the Democrats?
Oh, the one where black people are is the abused and the Democrats is the husband. Yeah, that.
Yeah, and then this is that one nice thing, that one gift just to like try to shut us up and keep us
Yes.
from doing whatever. Yeah.
Yep.
Mandarin.
Now everything
Everybody
is
was
cool
speaking
again.
Yeah, it's
Spanish
just
the other
wow, I
day.
just broke your jar. But these flowers though.
Racism is cured, everybody. Now we live in a multiracial
Yo.
society.
I just broke your jar, but here go these flowers though.
Okay, Daddy. Like the
Fuck.
fuck.
Yo,
I,
honestly, it's not. It sounds like one of those bad movies where the white people was like, "Hey, we gave y'all Juneteenth. You know, isn't what more do you want? I mean,
what
Hmm.
more do you want?
emoji, right? Emoji, right? Yeah, that's how y'all do it. Emoji, right? Right?
Emoji these nuts.
E-
What does she got?
Yeah, like black power. You know? Yeah. This whole that because I know like President Biden because I know he make it official, and I feel like he's going to brag about this in his next campaign. It's just like that's not
Hey,
enough. It's
repeat
like,
that last statement because you were dropping in and out like really bad.
oh Lord,
Yeah,
am I coming in clear?
you sound fine now.
Oh, I'm coming in clear
You
now.
sound
Okay.
fine now. A second ago, your signal like died for like 3 seconds in the midst of whatever you were trying to say.
Theo, why do you
Joe
have to make
Biden doesn't
yourself
put
so
this in the
funny?
next election, talking about
And now it's doing it to Crystal. What the fuck? Is it me?
Bruh, it's you.
it is you.
I'm done.
Because I heard Ray perfectly.
I'm literally next to my fucking router. I shouldn't be having any issues. I'm in my damn bedroom and my
God
router is
damn.
literally in my closet.
I got good bars over here.
I
Okay.
got
Any
no
last words
bother.
before we move on to our next topic?
Racism is saved.
All right.
Yay.
Racism is safe. Yay, yay, America. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And since you're here, Father, I'm gonna make this quick and then we move on. On a scale of 1 to 10, how strong is your pride?
I'm going to say pride. Pride, right?
Yeah, pride.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'll put myself at a 7. I would say 7.
Uh, okay, that's cool. You a 7, D Wolf's a 8. I said same pride for myself because I could be very, very stubborn. But on to, on to the next on to the next topic. Jada Pinkett decided to recite a poem that she had from Tupac because it was Tupac's birthday. And there's a lot of people felt like Jada Pinkett was disrespecting Will with that poem. Do you guys see it that way or not?
Um, Gosh, that's a hard one because
What was okay? I have to ask what was said in the aforementioned poem.
that's a good question. 'Cause-
It was I don't the poem is it's more or less the poem is more or less like every time she mentions I guess it's the whole history between her and Tupac. And you know, like they grew up together, they went to school together, and it seems then everybody has this thing. It's just like every time she mentions Tupac, it's just like she lights up, and like it feels like she got this affection for Tupac, but not the same affection for Will. So I
I
Mm.
mean, that's
mean, if
basically the
that's
premise
I
of it.
mean, if Tupac and Jada were childhood friends, it's it's one thing, you know. First of all, why do so many people care? Let's start with that. But okay, they grew up together. They were childhood friends. You know, of course, yeah. There's you know they kind of got like a brother sister relationship, I guess.
It's not a brother and sister relationship.
Oh yeah, there
We
was
can
rumors
stop it
about them
right there. We can
supposedly
stop it
doing whatever.
right there. It is not a brother sister relationship. I love my sister to death.
Those
I
are
love
just
my sister.
rumors,
I love my sister
sarcastically
to
speaking.
death.
But anyway,
I love my sister to death, but it's not the same type of relationship that Jada got with Pac. But go ahead, continue.
I mean, my point is this: I wouldn't call it a disrespect thing. More of her just you know, her wanting to honor the man, honor his birthday or whatever, and I guess it getting taken the wrong way. But again, depends on exactly like the nature of said poem and whatnot.
Hmm. I think because he's dead, um, it doesn't hit so hard. But if he was alive, I could see how it could be disrespectful, especially with recent events that Jada had went through with Alcina. Um, I guess I guess in their relationship they're very open, but it's just too soon for her to read a poem, whether a man's alive or dead. People are always going to look at it wrong because she, emotionally attached to Tupac in not a friendship way, but a boyfriend girlfriend way. So I could see where people are like, okay, well, you dedicated this poem to him, but it could be disrespectful. But he's passed away, and she could do whatever she wants. But at the same time, it's hard to pinpoint if it's disrespectful. I really got to listen to the poem.
You want to know what I think? Um, I
Speak your
think
mind.
this. I I feel like in this particular instance, I think it's Jada like discovering Tupac again, like basically like rediscovering Tupac all over again because this is someone that died young. You know what I'm saying? So if there's anything that still links him to this world, she's going to take an emotional interest in that because she knew this man personally. As a matter of fact, she caught this man's interest. You know what I'm saying? And Tupac is like it's a household name now. Like he's really really deep into American consciousness now. So everybody knows Tupac. So if there is a girl that caught his interest, that's Jada Smith. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that note is just a way for Jada to uh make. I feel like it's a way for Jada to understand that he's still alive. You know what I'm saying? Just even if he's not physically here, he's still here by virtue of the note that he wrote to you. You'll always
Right.
have that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That shit is to
He's here in
you.
spirit.
You know what I'm saying? Because if like to have someone care about you that much and then they're physically gone so you can't physically feel it, but to know that there is still something on this earth that comes back to you and this man is a household name in America, that's
Mm-hmm.
some bullshit. And I think it's that. I think that's what it is. But of course, people are gonna look at it and be like, "It's disrespectful." I'm like, "I."
Yeah, because I noticed some of the stories that she would talk about on Red Table, where she cried for days over Tupac and things of that nature, and her husband couldn't console. Will Smith could not console her. Um, I guess it's a hard one. It's
See,
Hold on.
this takes me to I'm not gonna go into like detail, but like a something I was dealing with, and it's just when you have history with someone, like once something happens to them, they're gone. It's even if you're not romantically involved with that individual anymore, once they're like out of the picture, it's still like losing a piece of yourself. That person was a part of your history. That person was a part of you becoming who you are today. You know what I'm saying? This is why one of the people, one of the set of reasons who I have the utmost love and respect for is fucking Bobby Brown. This man literally watched an entire chapter of his life die. Think about that.
I think Bobby Brown and Jada Pinkett is like two different things.
Did different, but in similar in context. Just for the sake of someone you had a bond with, someone you were like super, you know, close with and in love with or whatever, and just all of a sudden they're just gone. Even if you're not involved that individual to that extent anymore, because they are a part of your history, and then for them to die, that shit still hits.
But Bobby and Whitney were married for like years. It was like I don't like that one. I would understand. Like I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest with you, Father. I'm one of. I'm not gonna lie. I'm one of those people. I feel like she did disrespect Will a little bit, and my reason is, I see this every time. Like she talks, it's a difference for when she talks about Pac and the way she talks about Will. Like I feel
Hmm.
like when she talk about Will is like him being like a good father and maybe like a good husband and that about it, like him as a provider, but
Mhm.
never as like a soulmate.
Right.
Whereas like the way she talk about Tupac, and by the way, I put it in the message box in case you want to see her read the poem. It's in the message box in the Jesse. Um the way she read that poem, she was crying a little bit and all that other stuff, and like it just like real got into a finish. Like Tupac was supposed to be her soulmate and all that other stuff. So, and even Will, he even discussed it. Is like he was jealous of the way she kind of like talks about Tupac and the way she talks about him. Will, and I could like I do like as a I don't know as me myself personally, I could see that, and to me, it's just like I think a lot of people feel like she's disrespecting because like Will not only like he's only a provider. That man, he's a father. He's someone that like every girl said that they want in a man. A sole provider, someone that loves you to death, and you know even though they have this open relationships and all that, like of what they say and all that other stuff, but everything Will Smith has done is like I feel like a lot of women want that in a man, and she has that, and like it seems like she just it. I don't know. It seems like she doesn't really. How can I say this? Res- uh, knows what she has. So it's just
She's taking Will for granted, basically.
yeah, I feel like she's taking Will for granted, and like Will, I feel like he loves her to like anybody knows. Will loves that woman to death. He treats her like a goddess, and it's just like you would have thought Jada Pinkett Smith is like the most perfect woman in the world if you would ask Will Smith, and it's just like in the public, and like we only know him from in the public eye, so I don't know what they do behind scenes, but even the stories they tell is just like the way Will treats her, and it's just like he treats her like a goddess. It's just like he worships the ground he walk on and all that other stuff, and I just don't feel that same type of reciprocated love for that. Even and that's what I think a lot of people see that too. So
No, I agree with you.
I'm I'm
Okay.
biting my tongue here because I'm I'm privy to their relationship, and I will say that all of this whole thing has nothing to do with Will at all. This has nothing to do with him. He's not involved. This is no disrespect to him or anything like that. It's just, if I go into detail about what I know, it's like it's going deep inside of the rabbit hole. So, but yeah, it has nothing to do with Will.
I
Yeah,
feel like we
I'm
got
just saying that
inside.
right now.
I feel like
I
we got
just,
inside information. You
I,
started non-disclosure.
I, no, I didn't sign anything. No, no, I didn't. But yeah, based on the information that was given to me and what I've seen and what I know, I'm like, yeah, all this is just just for us to talk about them. That drama was just sprinkled in. But no, this was just to celebrate Tupac. That's all it was. That's all it was. And she just wanted to do it publicly because of that connection they had, which was legit. So, and that was it. Had nothing to do with Will. And Will knows that too. He's not feeling any way about it. I can tell you that much.
Well,
Facts
I do
on
agree.
facts.
I do agree with you, Ray, when it comes to I think she never got over him. And because of that, as much as Will has stepped up to console her, be a man and play the husband slash father role, I don't think she will ever be able to commit fully to him because she's still in turmoil over Tupac and she's trying to, like what Fada said, trying to grasp any chance she gets to relive moments of her youth with Tupac when he was alive. And that can really uh, harbor and stop a lot of ascension spiritually for that person, and they'll never be able to love people fully um, when they play the role of husband or boyfriend because they're still attached to that person in an unhealthy way. So it is what it is. But everybody's going to take that poem differently in what she's doing. I personally wouldn't do it out of respect for who I'm with, but to each his own.
I think that's how I see it as well. It's just I understand like Tupac is like your friend and all that other stuff, and Tupac is like an icon, especially like in Black history and the way he stood for and how he kind of like did things and maneuvered. But at the same time, like so is Will, and it's just like especially like someone like if you're thinking about the way his family is built and the structure he has provided and like basically every each and every one of his kids is successful in their own way. It's just like but it just seems like I don't know, it's just take it from granted. Like I wouldn't do that to a girl if my ex just died like that. I wouldn't do that to my lady because I feel like that'd be disrespecting her. I don't know. That's just me. But
I see. No,
I
my
think the
thing is,
Devo thing is. Go ahead. My
I
bad. Go
see
ahead.
what both of y'all are saying. Like, I definitely think that is also a possibility, but at the same time, like, this is someone that she lost very young. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if that's the case, then you kind of can't blame her because when like Tupac, we can all say he died suddenly. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying? Like he died very suddenly and at like the height of his career. You know what I'm saying? Like this man was everywhere.
Right.
So the fact that it was so sudden and these guys share a bond like that, like this man is writing poems to this woman. Obviously, she holds a special place in his heart. So, like to lose that suddenly, I don't blame her. And Will honestly kind of has to hold that because it has nothing to do with him. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think it even compromises the love that Jada might have for Will. I don't think there's levels to it. I just think they're loved in different ways.
That makes sense.
Like I said, that history, man.
Any last words before we move on to our next topic?
I just want you to answer this question, right?
Okay.
So, if your girl, right, like let's say you have a wife and she has a best friend that's a guy, right, and they've been like friends since like third grade or whatever, and they've always been great fucking friends. And let's say that something happens suddenly and he's automatically like out of the picture, they can't see each other anymore. He's not necessarily dead in this case, but like something happens and he's no longer in the picture and your wife, she's not the same. Like you would feel empathy for her, right?
Ah.
If I may answer that
For
question bluntly,
for
yes.
yes for the first time. I don't know if I'm gonna keep feeling empathy, but for that moment, especially like if it recently happened, yeah, I will.
I'm so sorry. I didn't hear the last part of the question. So did the person die, or are they just out of the picture?
Nah, I just said they're like no longer in the picture, like they can't see each other anymore.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Because I don't know, because I don't want to hear about it like every day. And I think that's the type of person I am. It's just, hey, all right, I get it. The first, 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 times, but after a while, it's like, hey, I'm not gonna tell you to get over it,
Yeah.
but it's just I
Well,
don't want to hear it no more.
I
I,
guess
I
what we sorry, Ray. Go
no,
ahead.
go
And
ahead,
I
go
think
ahead.
that's valid. I think that's valid.
Yeah, but then you,
Okay, well, here's the thing. We have to understand what type of friendships we have in our life and who's in our life that's partnerships. So my whole thing is why are you so hung up on someone that you're not building wealth with, you're not going to ascend sexually or mentally with? Like, what's going on? Is it hidden emotion that you might not have? Friendships come and go. And if the person's not in your life right now, why are you still sulking over it? Get over it. So I'm a little bit cold-hearted and straight to the truth when it comes to shit like that, because it's not tolerable in a relationship.
So you're the get over it type, right?
Yeah, yeah, I am. It's gotten me in a lot of trouble, but
I'm
it
the exact opposite, but it's okay.
No,
I am
it's
the
fine.
exact opposite.
It's fine. It's like me as is. I won't tell you to get over it. I'm more or less. I'm gonna show you that I'm better. If that makes sense. Just like
Yeah, but
I'm
with
here.
that, there doesn't have to be like resentment or any negativity towards it. It's just you, okay. Now I'm gonna provide that. I'm the provider now. It falls on my shoulders. That's
Yeah.
fine.
right,
Okay.
in my head, it's just, it's one of those, don't let it interfere with your relationship with me. Make sense?
I
yeah,
mean,
No.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because I've told exes that before. It's just like because they used to cry over a nigga that they didn't like and treated him like shit. It was like he's not here no, and like I had to shut that down. Like I will shut that down real quick because sometimes when you get in an argument and they'll hit you with the damn you just like him. I had to shut that down real quick. I said that nigga. First off, I never laid my hands on you. That nigga used to go upside your fucking head. Now, if you want me to, I can do that to you from reminisce. But I'm not like that. You stop that
Right. If
shit.
you want to compare me to an ain't shit nigga, I'll show you I can be even worse than an ain't shit nigga.
I don't want to be.
I just
I
said
don't
that.
want to be worse, but yeah, but yes.
Oh my god.
That's definitely different.
Yeah, I'm just a bit.
I understand it though. I understand.
No, no, it's straight up. I'm trying to show you I'm better than this motherfucker, but you comparing me for the bad shit he's done to you. Okay, let's trump that.
Well, it's scary because why do you have to compare yourself? If you know that you're a king, why are you trying to compare yourself to a peasant? If she doesn't know she's with a king, why the
We're
fuck?
human beings.
But
That's what we do.
You,
I was about to
Is
say
what
we compare.
no,
Look,
because it's
we
like
compare
no, because it's like
everything.
now
we
it
Honestly,
seems like
compare
you're making it a point
everything.
to bring that out of me. So it's like, okay, don't be mad when I grant your wish.
so it must
some people can handle that, and some people can't.
it
That's what
must
I was saying.
definitely be a guy thing, because if I know I'm with a king, I'm not going to do too much comparison. Like, oh well, look at this. No, I'm not doing that shit.
See, but
I
that's
I'm
true.
king,
That's true.
fuck it. I don't.
God bless you. I would say that. God bless you. But you were saying
That's
something?
true. But at the same time, but to play devil's advocate at the same time, someone could be like, it's not about you though.
Mm-hmm.
Like there could be that as well.
Yeah.
Because that's a powerful last statement when you think about it. It's not about you.
Right.
Like
Ooh-wee.
But guys are just competitive.
I am. I'm
Oh,
very competitive.
it is what it is. Me,
I'm trying to learn how to not be so competitive, but fighting games is not
that
helping.
ain't never gonna happen.
So that some things just can't be helped, man.
I could see that. Oh my god. Like, no.
But
Dion, I'm
you
gonna
know,
ask you a
okay,
question. As long as you know me, how many times have you seen me not want to smoke?
Nigga, you are the smoke. The fuck?
So wait a minute. Do you have like smoke contests? Is that where we're going? Like who could
no, no, not like literal smoke, but if if people you know, they want to compete with you, I'm with it. It's like if you want to think you
Yeah,
better than me, it's like
No,
I'll
you
show
gotta
you that I'm
understand.
better.
Like me, Soda, and our crew from the art institute that we went to. Like when I say we had wars over like fighting games, like dog, you and me back and forth on Tekken,
oh my
nigga.
yes, sir.
Good old days, good old fucking days.
well, I'm looking at it as an aspect of I don't have to compete because I'm a woman. So I'm definitely not a hunter, but I get it. I'm more like, if I don't know what I have, fuck it.
Okay. Any last words before we move on to our next topic?
I love Tupac.
Who said that?
Who do you think?
I love Tupac.
And is nothing wrong with that. May he rest in peace.
Okay. um, have, have y'all heard about the Ryan Lewin story?
Give us a brief summary. I haven't heard.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
I read about part
I
of
had
that.
to bring it up. Okay, here it goes. This is from News One. Man freed on low bail for shooting a 6-year-old black boy is back in jail after community outcry. A Michigan man who shot a 6-year-old black boy who and was quickly freed from jail because extreme low bail has been forced to surrender and return to the police custody after his bond was increased exponentially. Ryan Lewin 29 was charged with assault with intent to murder and stands accused of shooting an unidentified boy in the arm on Sunday afternoon in Ypsilanti Township, that's in Michigan, for the offense of leaving his bicycle in a man's yard. Basically, an Asian dude, and I think an Asian dude shot a 6-year-old black boy because his bike was on the road, and
Oh,
and his bail was like $10,000 or 1,000 or what they say. Yet, despite their serious criminal charges and video evidence, and I think they got it on camera, a judge Monday set Lewin's bail just at $10,000, 10%, or $1,000, which was needed to secure his freedom. And Lewin was quickly bailed out. So, yeah, have y'all heard about this story?
I have.
This is my first
Okay,
time of hearing it.
Yeah,
yeah, and
I heard about it, but I didn't hear it to this much detail. But yeah,
yeah. So what do y'all think about this story?
how old was the boy again?
6
Six.
years old.
6.
6. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no other way to see this. Really, like this is straight. He treated his kid like an animal. That's it. He needs to be,
My thing
punished
is,
at the full extent of the law.
in what society will it ever be acceptable to point a gun at a 6-year-old child? Like,
That's what I'm saying. Like,
really?
this is nothing to argue about, yo. Can we,
Literally nothing
like,
to argue about.
yo?
He's 6. Like, what the? Oh my god.
I don't mean to laugh. I really laugh at awkward moments. I told you guys this.
I'm
But
the same way. I'm the
really,
same way.
like what? I blame the bill that was recently passed. I rest my case.
Oh Lord.
I was thinking it, I ain't gonna
Yo,
say.
he
I was thinking
probably
the same
had
thing, I
that
ain't gonna
on
say.
his mind, yo. He had that on his mind when he had that gun in his hand. He had that on his mind. He's like, I'll be all right. You don't like him. You don't like him either. I'll be all right.
Now I
Yo.
think he's back. Now I think he's back in jail, and his bail was set to 100,000. But I don't even. I think that's too low. Like
Mm.
Yeah, that
for
is too
one, I
low.
don't think he should have bail anyway. But
Right. He don't belong to back out on the streets in no way, shape, or form after that shit.
yeah, it's like I said, he's six. It's just like what is
6 years fucking old, bro.
Did the boy live?
Yes.
yeah, the boy is
He's fine. He got hit in the arm.
Okay.
He was like retelling the story and everything.
Hmm.
yeah.
Hmm. I think again, I'm a paranoid person for good reasons. The bill that was recently passed for Asian hate crimes
Hmm.
being
So
justified,
what happens if it's an Asian performing the hate crime?
huh?
So what happens if it's the Asian performing the hate crime?
Exactly. Damn, you don't let me get to the
Asking the important questions
So,
there, Diego.
sorry, but
point.
I know that's where you were going. But
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
exactly where I was
let's
going.
shorten the trip.
That's exactly where I was going. I think he felt comfortable to do that shit because I've never, maybe I'm not aware of media a lot when it comes to Asian people attacking Black people. The only time I've seen that is in um, nail salons or in their store that they own. You see the prejudiceness, you see the racism in there. But when it comes to shooting a child, this is the first time I've ever heard of it coming from their end, coming from their culture, their ethnic group. Um, I've never. This is the first. This is the first, and I feel like a bill has that bill has everything to do with it, and it's a setup for Asians and Blacks not to collaborate, to keep the drift amongst each other apart. I just see this as a setup because that's like, and I don't mean to mention a name, and hopefully I don't get sued for this, but it's kind of like Cardi winning a Grammy and Nicki not, but Nicki has put in the work. She's been here longer, and they want her to hate on Cardi, and Nicki has so much things going for her. She's not going to do that shit. So I feel like that's what they're trying to set up Asians and Blacks, but this is just ridiculous.
Now that you think it that way, it makes me think about it that way too. Uh, but like you said, we have these bills for stop Asian hate. It was like we still can't even get a damn lynching bill for like people that's been attacking blacks, and it's not even like just. And I know
I mean,
blacks done.
for God's sake, sundown towns are still a thing. Like, get the fuck.
Yeah, sundown towns is. I think they will forever be a thing, as long as I don't think no. I think even if, and this is my personal opinion, I think even if a bill was passed, no one would give a fuck
And can't
about
you be
it.
charged with it with a hate crime?
I
Like,
mean, you
Uh,
can, but how many hate crimes have you heard of in society today?
No, I was just saying for this case right here in particular, I'm like, so does this crime bill undo it for them? Like, can they kind of neutralize it because they have this anti-Asian thing? Like, oh no, I felt threatened because he
like,
was black.
like I
So it's
said
like a
like I said a few minutes ago. So, what happens when it's the Asian person performing the hate crime?
hmm
I mean, I would still think they would get fully prosecuted by the law, but that's a very good question to ask because when have you ever seen like anyone charged of a hate crime recently? Even when the cops kill black folks,
Yeah, that was
they
a
don't
while
get
ago
charged as
since
hate
I've heard
crimes.
it. Since
You
I've
know what I'm
heard that
saying?
word. Yeah, since I've heard that
Like,
word in the
so
charge, you're
you
right.
bring up a very good question when you're like, okay, so is it going to be considered a hate crime then? Because if this bill is signed, now is this going to be considered hate crimes? Because if it is, black people, you just got bamboozled.
hmm
And you want to know what and you want to know what the sad part is? They're just copying what black folks do whenever we're in trouble. They did the exact same shit black folks
Yeah.
do.
Man,
which I was, which I was trying to tell people by the way, and it seems like no one understood what I was saying. Like I don't know if y'all saw that meme. It was just like it said that Asians didn't beg or protest or march, and they got a bill signed. It's like, isn't that suspicious? And I was like, but they did though.
They did though.
In the words,
Stop Asian hate.
in the words of Soldier Boy, they stole my whole fucking flow, word for
Oh,
word, bar for
ball for
bar.
ball. But the thing is, we wasn't mad about it
Damn.
because like, all right, well, if shit is happening to you, then advocate for yourself, hold your own nuts, and they got a bill because of it. It's just we're more mad at the government more than them. But them doing this type of shit, where one of their own is like shooting 6-year-old kids, like what the hell? I haven't even like. Have y'all heard any like backlash from the Asian community or any like spokesperson?
No,
Not
I
nothing.
didn't hear about this story itself until, we started talking about it here. So, you know, it's still a wait and see thing for me, but I don't think there is going to be any type of fallout or backlash within the Asian community itself. No way.
it was in the news, Dion, but
Mhm.
like you said, it was like they really didn't get into detail, nor did they stay on this that long.
It, so basically from his own people, it's a slap on the wrist.
Eh, I mean,
That's
because
the
I mean,
that's
he's
the,
like
that's
I
the
said,
vibe
he's
I'm
back
getting.
in jail. Like his original bail was 10,000, and we said, "No, get the fuck out of here." So now his bail is 100,000, and like I said, he shouldn't get bail at all because he shot a fucking kid. But
When did it go from 10,000 to 100 grand?
Recently.
uh,
Did it
yeah,
happen
recently
talking about?
the 11th of June, I'm gonna say.
Shit,
Yeah.
when did this incident first occur again?
I want to say like 2 weeks ago,
Yeah, about
two,
2 weeks
three
ago,
weeks ago. Yeah.
the beginning of June.
Beginning of June. Right.
Yeah, because I'm like, shit, why am I only just hearing of this? Damn.
I mean, it's fairly recent. So
Hmm.
But
I
it
it's
was
been a
all
couple
over
of weeks,
Twitter.
so
It
it's
was
just
all
like,
over my Twitter.
uh,
He was just he wasn't a hashtag because he didn't die. But
even still, like, it's just the fact that a kid was attacked in this manner. That's mm-mm.
I think it'll matter when Black people stop going to nail salons, when they stop spending their money in Asian communities. Because apparently, if you know that if in our community, what we do a lot is we advocate for other ethnic groups when our own does something wrong. We don't do it to the extent that I would like us to do it. But at the same time, we're so busy trying to protect ourselves from other ethnic groups that we really don't have time to do it because no one's advocating for us. So I have yet to see the Asian community ring out that that was wrong for us. But here we are marching along with them. And I don't, I hope I'm not sounding like this is a racist rigoro, but at the same time, I don't see anyone bringing up the fact that another ethnic group bringing up the fact that that was so wrong on so many levels and bringing it up in attention and media and stuff like that. I see it being hushed and muted because we would have heard about it. The same way with George Floyd, I guess because he passed on, it was all over the news. But at the same time, like when a little white girl gets kidnapped, it's all over the news. We hear about that, but how come not this? So I just have
Right.
a
How many black children go missing on a day-to-day basis?
Oh, I remember there was one time, and I don't know if Obama was in presidency, but it was a big thing in DC where a bunch of black women was getting kidnapped and trafficked, and nobody ain't say a thing. And it took like a bunch of people to like tell people like, "Hey, these black girls are going missing," and no one has really said a word about it, and no one less putting out an APB on them. So I sometimes feel we gotta be. I do feel like we gotta be the ones that have to tell them things that happen. And I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but it seems like we have to be the ones that be telling them first. And also, Crystal, like you said, I like because me and Father have said this many a times. It seems like anytime when like other races have their problems, they kind of look to us to like try to help them out with their cause. But when it seems like when we the ones needing help, and it seems like they're silent. Now I know a lot of people's going to say the black with the George Floyd, everybody done like was for it, but that's to me that was like the first time I've ever seen that with any of the cases because like I ain't seen nobody do that for Trayvon. I ain't seen nobody do that for Eric Garner, Atati Jefferson, or any of them. But
I guess I'm gonna sound a
I
little bit
guess
started again. The only reason why I felt like a lot of other ethnic groups were a part of that movement was because it was gaining traction and they seem like or um, put the facade that they were part of something big and meaningful and that they don't have a racist bone in their body. This was just justification or validation for themselves because they don't really want to internalize what they really feel with other ethnic groups. And the lack of knowledge, the fact that you had a lot of other ethnic groups going into Black communities and breaking shit just gives you a full spectrum of what that movement was about when it came to other ethnic groups acting as if they're for us. If you're for us, then continue to go in a
Yeah.
community, build up what you broke, okay? And understand that this is much deeper than just yelling in the fucking streets and feeling like you're empowered. Let's not go there.
okay. So let me ask you this: how do you feel about allies? Anybody
Uh,
can answer. The if
I feel like it's a setup. I feel like unless we have allies that are truly for us, they will always have their own agenda. And we see it in the BLM movement as well. Even though it was started by 3 Black women, we see exactly who's funding, we see exactly who's running the show. And like I said, it's not our people. So when it comes to allies, I feel like as usual, the Black person who is trying to start something positive will always be utilized or manipulated because their focus is on uplifting the Black man and woman and to have something meaningful. And I just feel like whoever's coming is just narcissistic and trying to manipulate it to push their own agenda for their own ethnic group.
For me, I always used to say, just if you're not dealing with this, you could just use your voice, and that's enough. You don't need to. We don't need your money. We don't need your involvement in any way. You don't need to spread awareness. You could just, somebody asks, then you could say say what you gotta say. But that's it, because there's too much of that going on. Because there'll be riots and during like BLM riots, and they're destroying our shit, and it's not us doing it. It's the white dude dressed up with a BLM shirt and all that stuff breaking our property, and we have our owners saying like, "What are you doing? And why y'all letting them do it?" But they're letting them do it because they're so-called allies. So I guess it's okay. Plus they're white, so I guess we should follow them. You know.
and
So
what D Wolf just said leads right into what I was going to say. With most of these so-called, allies, air quotations, whatever, they're fake. And with these fake
yep.
allies, you get these infiltrators whose sole purpose is to throw dirt on whatever it is you're trying to do. Make your cause, make your organization, whatever, look as bad as possible.
And there are plenty of them that got caught, and you don't see it on the news. Plenty of videos of them getting caught. And you see it's the same guy in different cities infiltrating BLM, because like there are like independent groups of BLM that will be out there apart from the one that we all know of, the Soros run one. And like you could see the difference between that group and the legit group, because the legit group has nothing to do with them. They're just saying Black Lives Matter. And you see these guys that are so-called allies infiltrate them, and just the legit group is just peaceful protest. just saying what they gotta say, spreading awareness, and as I've seen.
But then you
And
got
then
the
these guys come
infiltrators
in
who
and
are
start
out here
throwing. You
breaking shit and
just
attacking people.
exactly. They just start they want to like throw the first punch and say, the cops show up just to just make sure everything all right, and they'll just stand there, and that one person to spit at the cop or say what they got to say to the cop, that's the infiltrator. That's your so-called ally. And why is he not black? What's going on? And this is what this is what Malcolm X was talking about, yo. And I'm like, why are we missing this and we're witnessing it and nobody's talking about it?
I've always said they should be seen and not heard. Like, that's just me. I feel like a lot of them do more harm than good. Like y'all done said. I remember this one white girl. She pretended like she was doing something for the community, like she was bored of something up, and then she hopped in a BMW and said, "Thank you guys, BLM." And I was like, these are the. It was like I don't need these people in my uh at my march or protest if they're going to be like this. And this is why I feel like, as you know, BLM should have like vexed a couple members or something like that, just like the Black Panthers did. I feel like they vexed a couple people, and you if you're really here for the cause, or you're just here because you feel guilty about your white privilege, which I tell people all the time, I don't care about your white privilege and all that. Please do not apologize. Like me personally, anybody else, if it's cool with y'all, it's cool. But me personally, if you come to me and apologize for your white privilege, I'm gonna tell you to get the fuck on. Like I don't. It's like I don't need it. It's like,
There's no
or if
reason
you
to apologize for something that's beyond your control. That
is it,
shit, like,
and go ahead, go ahead.
that, like, you're white, you're born in a country that's going to cater to you because you're white. That's not something you have control over.
There's like, because there's some people is like they'll make you apologize for your white privilege, and I'm like, you ain't gotta apologize. I really do not care. It's just like that's because I like, even though we're trying to change the system, I know how the system. Like I still got to get mine, and you still got to get yours, no matter like how the system is. So it's just that and if you ever come to me and goes like, I want to do cause, what should I do as a white person? And I'm gonna say, go find a black person that gives a fuck, because I don't. It's like, but as an ally, I feel like if you're ally, you should be seen and not heard, because, and that's it.
I just see it as very sinister. I mean, look at I don't have any positive examples to pull from where a person of a different ethnic group came to help a black person or black organization, and with good results. I have yet to see the result of positive affirmation of
I've I've seen it on, like, just, just a common, like, person to person, never like on a grand scale where it's like a whole organization involved in some
Mhm.
shit like that though.
Yeah, even with NAACP, we already saw what happened with that. It was a white woman pretending to be a black woman. I mean, it's things of that nature. How come this doesn't happen to other groups, Jewish groups or Muslim groups? You don't see black people infiltrate to be their race. What is the sin?
And
I,
it's so bad that it now has a name. It's called blackfishing now.
yeah, don't get me started. I'm out. I'm gonna tear that apart.
And transracial.
Oh man, that's still funny to me.
My goodness, what are we getting ourselves into, boy?
Yo, shout out to Rachel Dolezal for the translation. All right.
Hmm.
Like, nah, cause like you ever see some
Oh
shit and you're
my
just like, does
god.
nobody see, like, how are people blind to this shit? Like sometimes it just makes you wonder. Like, are y'all really normalizing this shit?
Yes, they are. It's
Like what? Or
you know,
God
Rachel
damn.
Dolezal's situation will ever be funny to me. I'm sorry.
and people believed it. People legitimately thought she was black.
Yeah.
It worked. We laughing, but it worked. That's the only reason why that shit is being normalized in the first place. Rachel Dolezal did it, and it fucking worked.
But you know what's cute? That person has to take a shower sometime a day. Like you cannot pull somebody in talking about I'm black and then
Mhm.
each or like how does one keep that up?
I,
Once
all
you
I'm
have
gonna say is this: you could pretend to be one of us all you want, but I can sit in the sun all day without my skin peeling. Take that.
that is true. That is true. It's just sad. Sinister and psychopath or sociopath about it, narcissistic. These people need a mental evaluation.
By the way, Dion, you are welcome. You are very, very welcome.
Wait, welcome from what?
Oh no.
Because
The
you said
spirit of
thank you, and now I'm saying you're welcome on behalf of the race.
the spirit of Ogun.
That's right.
Oh, but also, and then something. See, something my grandmother always says to me about how these other races they hate us so much, but they try so hard to mimic our features.
Everybody want to be a nigga, but don't nobody want to be a nigga. Paul Mooney.
May he rest in peace. Damn,
May he rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
we never got to talk about that one. Shit.
We've talked about it, haven't we? I know
Uh,
Father gave his. I know Father done gave his
It
condolences.
was it was I think it was mentioned briefly and like maybe in a group chat or just in a past just a quick RIP shout out or whatever, but we never like talked about Paul Mooney
Nah,
and
we
like
did. Now we did when Q was here. You don't remember?
Yeah, because I know Q was talking about it.
Q was talking about it.
I might have missed that. I don't know, my memory ain't shit. Anyway, no, like I legit my memory ain't shit. I don't say that just to be funny. I have bad memory.
That's
okay.
fine.
I'm the herb lady, so I do have to ask this question. Do you have you been taking coconut oil? Like a spoonful daily?
No? Should I start?
Yes, you should definitely start. That actually helps with Alzheimer's disease. And if you want more information, the studies was already proven that it actually helps in a Tampa hospital. They did that.
I mean, I don't think I have Alzheimer's. I just think I've taken
Right. It
one
just
too many blows to the head over my life. But um,
it just helps you remember. Just a heads up. But
all right.
I'm gonna try
I
that.
hope I hope I remember to do that shit.
Write it on your arm. Just write it on your arm.
No.
Did all right, then all right. 30%, Father. Just like you said, 30%. Any last words before we move on to our next topic?
30%.
30%. My God. Um, does anyone care about that movie In the Heights skinned Afro Latina people in their movies?
I didn't even hear the movie until now. What is this about my Afro brothers and sisters? What's going on?
Okay,
that's what the movie's title is.
In the Heights, yeah. The
Oh, okay.
because they was talking about some colorism or some shit like that, and hold on, let me try to bring it up because I've never been in Dominican Heights, but
That interview was funny. It was so uncomfortable.
did they interview what's his name, Lin Manuel, the guy from Hamilton? I'm not even
I
going.
don't know. It was a Asian dude. I think it was the director or something.
Uh huh.
And there was a black woman that interviewed him, and it was like, so we noticed there aren't enough She says she was Afro Latino from wherever they're from in the movie. And she said, I noticed there's not a lot of people, basically like me in the movie. So what's up with that? And he was fumbling like a motherfucker. I'm like, yo, come on.
That was the guy that did Crazy Rich Asians, right?
I wouldn't know.
Because if I'm correct, that Asian dude, he did Crazy Rich Asians. He's like, uh, I could see him stumbling because he probably just like he probably wasn't even thinking like that. He was just thinking about making a movie.
Exactly. Yeah.
Didn't he? Didn't he regret not? It was something that he did in Asian, Crazy Rich Asians, that he even regretted when it came to the Indian people in the movie. Like he hated the way that he portrayed them as if they're just maids or people to drive you around. It was something that he mentioned that he was ashamed of. So are we repeating? Is he repeating history of not putting the right ethnic groups in certain movies or not representing?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So now we know purpose or mistake. Only God knows. I don't know.
I'm just saying it's a pattern.
I mean, yeah, I mean, colorism is real. So is this? I haven't seen the movie, but I guess is this. I don't know. This is. It's just one of those things where I felt like if you really wanted to be authentic, you probably should have like did more research. But at the same time, as a movie goer, I'm just trying to create a movie. It's like when things like this happen, it's like because I went to school for film, so it's like the film buff in me and the black side in me always kind of fights about things. It's just like I know I've done it for this for the Little Mermaid because they made the Little Mermaid black, and like Power Rangers because I wanted Zach to be black, but they made him the blue, but they made the black do the Blue Ranger. It's just like if I wanted to be if I wanted to be accurate, I make it accurate. But I don't want to just put a person in just to put a person in. But um, I don't know. With this, it's just like it's like is the movie good or not? And I guess that's all I really care about. It's just like I understand colorism is real, and this is why like I've always harked on the '90s. It's just that because if we wasn't represented, we made our own stuff. We had our own like basically he had Robert Townsend's, John Singleton's, the F. Gary Gray's. We was making our own movies with our own leads and protagonists and antagonists in there. It's just like
Thank you.
I don't want to go to another race or another person and then complain about us not being represented when we could do that ourselves.
Fucking thank you.
That's all I
I've been
talk about on
saying
my
this for the
channel, son.
I've been saying that shit for the fucking longest.
uh,
Cause it's like, cause they did the same shit. Ray, you remember? And I know we're gonna talk about this, but I'm just gonna bring this up real quick.
Go
Redfall
ahead.
from E3.
Yeah.
You saw that trailer, right?
No, I haven't seen that trailer.
So in the trailer, there's like a girl with an afro in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought she looked cool. Like she was an interesting ass character. She's doing cool shit. But the one thing that I didn't want to do was check social media because I knew what these Negroes were going to say. Oh my god, yeah, black woman, yeah. And I'm like, yes, finally. But here's the thing though, like you said, like that reaction is because we don't have that representation. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's sad that we cheer so loudly when it was always supposed to be us represented because representation is important. And like you said, when we build our own shit, we're able to do that. But the fact that we have to beg so many motherfuckers in order to include ourselves, like stop begging. Like, why do you have to beg for it? You know what I'm saying? Like, why do you have to you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand because like I swear to God, I got a lot of heart for like the Little Mermaid
but
because I said, like the Little Mermaid could have been like it could have been redhead. I felt like that was tokenism. Even though who was it supposed to be? Chloe Bailey supposed to be playing Ariel. I looked
Yeah.
at it as I looked at it as tokenism. It's
But
just
you know
like,
what?
go ahead, go ahead, Evo.
Sorry about that. You know what I never understood is that we're this, sudden excitement for seeing a black person on you know portrayed on the screen, like animated or what
Yeah.
have you. But because I'm like, but wait a minute. Ever since we've been in some sort of mainstream, form of creation, we get the most attention from like almost all races, especially when it comes to comic books, because every black character, there is no white person that does not love this black character, and amongst us as well, of course. So I'm like, that's where my confusion is. Like we got this. So clearly we're the trendsetters. So why aren't we doing it? Is basically what I'm
I'm
saying. Like,
saying,
why do we have to ask? Like, you're asking why. So why aren't we doing this? Why do we have to beg someone to do it for us? What was funny is I talk about this on my channel, because I was like, the whole Black Panther thing. I was like, you got to be kidding. Have you forgotten Static Shock? Right. First of all, because
Right.
right now, I understand I'm not knocking Black Panther at
right.
all, because I remember being in elementary school, like, when's this going to be live action? Okay. So to know it came out, and that anticipation, that was there, but that extra hype, just because he was black, that wasn't there, because I'm like, no, I will get there when a Static Shock movie comes out. Then I'll be like, oh, and he's black? Then I'll do that. You want to know why? Because he was created by a black man. He was written by a black man, published by a black comic book company. So I still don't see y'all online, pushing for this. And we're seeing this with Superman right now. Now they're planning to make a black Clark Kent. For what? You have two so far. I think there are two black Supermen out there that are not Clark Kent, who deserve a story to be told, because one, they're black, and two, because it's an awesome story. Why do we have to adopt the white guy shit and tokenize our character, our people like that? Yo, it's like, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, because you respect. No, but I feel you, because you respect your people. You respect what we can do. So why aren't we doing it ourselves? Like, we are awesome
Exactly.
people. We're fucking amazing. We're great. We're talented. Why the
Everything we
fuck do we gotta
do,
beg?
trendsetted. Everything we do.
And
You
I think
cannot
that's what
watch
they're
an
not
action
getting.
movie from any other country without hearing hip hop. Where that come from, though?
Right.
The same swagger and all, and they speaking up French and shit. And like, they don't look like us, but they look like us.
Right.
If you brought them here, they fit in other than the language. And why? We started that shit. So this excuse of having a beg white, like, not for what? Nah, son, look at Black Dynamite. What are you talking about?
And
Yes.
then next
Who
thing you
doesn't
know,
like that shit?
next thing you know, they put the black character in the movie or the video game or whatever. And next thing you know, they're paired up with a white protagonist.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're LGBT, it's going to be white.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember Netflix had a string of shows that did that shit. It was like a string of shows. It's like there would be a white girl and then like her POC lesbian lover or whatever. And like they were pointing that shit out on Twitter even. There was like hashtag
or a gay black friend. Like, it's
yeah,
always
the
a
gay
gay
black
black
friend.
friend.
Yeah, bro, they tokenize our people all the fucking time. They
Like
especially did it with
Sense8.
the bro. They stay tokenizing our people because we got Negroes out there crying and begging people that we want to be included in your shit. They do it because they don't do a good job, and now you complain, and now you saying, "Well, these are side characters. These are." And I'm like, okay, so then build your own shit.
Can I add
My
something?
favorite shit is like, can I take these pieces? A lot of them, I wonder if they're just virtue signaling, or can I take you seriously? Because I remember when the whole Ariel thing came out, and I was talking about this. If you click the hashtag, right, for Ariel being cast as black, whichever it was, and you scroll, you see you see the it's her and Mitch matching and all that shit. People have their own little art illustration of how it may look, you seeing all of that. And it's all about race, this, right? Inclusion. Okay. So you converted a white character to a black person. Got you. Fine. I'm with you here. Let's pretend I'm with you here. You click who they want for their prince. You guys want to guess what color he was? That was trending?
Was he white?
No, not even. Yeah, some of them were white, but no, not even.
Was he Arab? Because sometimes they put an Arab in front.
It was mainly Asian.
Mainly Asian?
It was mainly Asian. And I'm like, yo, and what's funny is this is mostly these cosplayers that do this shit that like to complain about cultural appropriation, but you're cosplaying that as a anime character. Okay. And not only that, everything's racist, but I'm going to tell you this right now. If you were to go through a cosplay, like black cosplay, probably 20% is married to another black person. The black female cosplayer, probably 20% of them is married to a black man.
Uh-oh.
But when I start speaking on how ridiculous Batwoman is, that show right now, they want to say, oh, you don't want to give black people, like, I'm a black man. First of all, what are you talking about?
I mean, if the shit's bad,
why are you arguing with me?
I just don't like the hair. That's what threw me off.
That show, it's the most ridiculous writing. It's the most ridiculous writing I've ever seen. And the fact,
I heard the writing was bad. I've heard the writing was bad on Batwoman. So
things make zero sense because people start asking questions like, but you could have just, or shouldn't you? But you know that, these questions just pop up while you watch the show. It's insane. Like, no, you will catch that. You catch yourself doing that watching certain shows you watch, but not every episode, not every 5 minutes.
I mean, I gave up on the CW, DC Comics based shit once they killed Green Arrow. I gave up on that once they killed Green Arrow.
I'm surprised you waited that long. Most people I talk to, they tapped out long time ago.
Because here's the thing. The best show they had going for them for real was honestly The Flash. And because going off this shit, Black Lightning was good, but in my opinion, the best show they had going was The Flash. I'm sorry. And
yeah, I'm with you there.
Because there were so many different things that were intertwining in between the shows, I had no choice but to watch Arrow and Supergirl and, Legends of Tomorrow and shit, even though I had no interest in the shows, but in order to know what was going on story-wise, I had to watch them motherfuckers.
Yeah.
But another thing I wanted to add, since we're talking about black representation and shit, my biggest thing is how we're represented when we aren't included in shit. I'm sick of seeing a stereotypical bullshit.
Yep, originality. That's all we need.
That's always been my biggest gripe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna bitch about us not being on, in every little project or whatever. I'm not going to bitch about that. But when every black dude I see in something is, just stereotypical wannabe gangster hood nigga, some bullshit like that, I'm gonna lose interest.
That's what made Blade so amazing. Because we didn't have to deal with that. He was just badass. Right. Had nothing, no race was pushed in your face. We understood he's a black man. Okay, we're there. Black superhero, we got it established. Now his story is fucking amazing. What do we got? Right. A black icon automatically. Didn't even have to focus on his race. What we got? It's a product, man.
If you are going to, include the racial issues within something, you know what I'm saying? Do it in a, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess tasteful way. Tasteful is a good word. Yeah, do it right. That's why I like how they handled how Marvel and Disney handled Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I love how they handled that.
Or like Icon from Milestone Comics. His is like similar to Superman, where basically he's a black superhero. He's just as strong as Superman. Um, he came here looking. He's basically looked like an alien when he landed on Earth, right? Like thousands of years ago. And fast forward after he landed, he basically saw a human. It was a black slave. He took the form of the black slave. He basically lived as a slave, right? But he didn't want to interfere with human. It's kind of like the Prime Directive in Star Trek. You don't want to interfere with human evolution. So he played along with the story. And then stories like that. You see how original that is?
That's very.
We didn't see that yet.
I have to look this character up. But
Icon.
There is
ICON from Milestone Comics.
Okay, but you mentioned Superman and the whole thing about them, trying to do like a black person as Superman. I want to just some. I don't know if y'all are familiar with epic rap battles in history, but they did an episode with Goku and Superman having a rap battle against each other. And Goku said to Superman, "You're pretty pasty to be powered by the sun."
Yes, I remember. I remember that line.
That's a funny line.
Oh man,
it's funny because it's true.
Shit.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie to you. To this day, I don't know if y'all seen Spike Lee. She's Gotta Have It, the one on Netflix, not the movie, but the TV show.
Do I want to?
Huh?
Do I want to?
Okay.
Is it worth watching?
How did you feel about the movie? If you ever watched the movie,
I gotta rewatch it. That's from 90. What now?
1980.
80. Yeah. I probably didn't see it. Yeah, I most likely didn't see it. So that's something I gotta. Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a short synopsis on. She's Gotta Have It, the Netflix. I'm gonna give you a short one.
Who was in the original movie?
Spike Lee. You're not gonna recognize the other characters, but Spike Lee.
Damn.
But like I said, the movie is that old. Like, and I don't know, it's weird. Spike Lee, he has this weird way. But for the Netflix show, She's Gotta Have It. I'm gonna say two things. Nola doesn't deserve Mars, and the writing is stupid. I was just like, the way they made Nola is just like she contradicts herself throughout the whole fucking show, in my opinion. But I watched it because I'm a Spike Lee fan, and I think that was the only reason I sat through 2 seasons. The second season doesn't make sense at all, but I think they was trying to have that connection between. I think whatever the fuck was going on with Puerto Rico at that time, and they just put that into the second season, and it had nothing really to do with what the show is about. So that's on that. I'm with you. It's like I want the writing to be good. Which is probably why I like one of my favorite black protagonists is probably from The Walking Dead, Lee. If you ever played that game, Telltale's The Walking Dead, like he was a black character and he was badass at what he was doing, and he made sense. It wasn't about race, but it was just more or less about survival. But as a character, you kind of connected with him and Clementine. So if y'all never seen or watched that, I would recommend that one too, because that was really good. But yes, we need to do our own shit. I get sick and tired of hearing people, they're not in there, we're not represented, all that other stuff. It's just, please start. Like, this is why I like Black Lady Sketch Show. It's their own shit, and it's funny. We have the talents, we have the actors, we got the trends. Do it before it gets on TikTok and white people take it. Any last words before we move on to our final thoughts?
To add what you were saying, also, I cannot stress this enough. Portrayal is everything.
I also got a question. Did anyone here see Birds of Prey? That last Harley Quinn movie?
No, I have not. Even though I
Okay.
had, is it on HBO Max? Because I could think I could watch
It
it.
is. It is.
Okay, I probably watch it.
Okay. I just want to make a point real quick. So they cast Black Canary with a black woman, right?
Journey Smollett, or is it someone
Right.
different?
Right.
Okay,
You're correct. Okay.
my baby.
So this is what I'm saying. This is where I see they're doing this. This has to be an agenda or a joke, or they're laughing at us when they're doing this. Because if anybody at least remembers the trailer or something like that, just look at the costume. Just look at what she's wearing. Okay. And then if you go online and you type in the character Vixen. Now she's a black superhero who was part of the Justice League, who's very popular.
Right.
Look at her early costume, and then you will see that both the costumes look the same. The live action Birds of Prey, Black Canary, a white character, but cast with a black actress, is dressed up like the black superhero from back in the day, who's very popular, or at least amongst comic book heads. But what about the black kids, black girls who want to see this shit? But you gave it to a white woman though, even though the actress might be black, but you did not do anything for us but tokenize us, because you did not just make the character. You dressed it up as a character, as a black character from back in the day. That means that person was on your mind then when you did that. So why didn't you just put Vixen in the movie?
So wow.
Or give her the shine she clearly deserves if you're going to represent her that way.
You just made me not want to watch that movie. Shit.
No, I'm just saying it's the agenda. This is the agenda here I'm talking about. Yo.
You just made me not want to watch Birds of Prey, bro.
I saw it. I had to watch it because I'm a DC head and I got to watch it, but I see it though. You got to pick these shit apart because you love it. So you got to.
If they fucked up Black Canary of all characters to that extent, because Black Canary was one of my favorite DC characters. Oh, come on. You just made me not want to watch the movie, man.
Blonde woman. So, but they made
race had nothing to do with that. It's the fucking character, and it's just to botch it to that extent. Mind you, all the live action DC shit, it's been bland to begin with. The only two decent movies of the bunch to date that I could think of was Man of Steel and Suicide Squad. But that's just me. Out of all the live action stuff they've done so far, the only two decent ones to me were Man of Steel and Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad?
I like Suicide Squad. The only thing
I think it was good, but
the only thing I feel like they fucked up on with Suicide Squad was how they killed Diablo. But I'm not gonna start that conversation.
I was thinking that too the first time I saw the movie. I think I know what you. Yeah.
For anyone who hasn't watched Suicide Squad for whatever reason, as old as that movie is, I'm not gonna ruin it. Go watch it for yourself, and you'll see what I mean. But yeah. That's literally the only thing I saw wrong with Suicide Squad. Outside of that, I thought Suicide Squad was a bomb ass movie. Mm-hmm. I thought Man of Steel. The only thing that was kind of off with me about Man of Steel, they could have treated General Zod better.
Okay.
I personally think Harley Quinn is overrated, but that's just me. All right, now we about to get into our final thoughts, and we're starting with Dion.
You know what?
Wait, did you just? I was wondering what she was gonna say. I was like, did you hear that?
Okay, all right.
Crystal with the RKO out of nowhere.
Is this Harley Quinn? Okay. I'm just little announcement.
She's not a bad look. I don't think she's a bad character, but I do think people hype her up too much. This is like, where's all this Harley Quinn hype coming from?
She is the boss. Okay, she can make someone kill themselves by their own hands because she is psychologically fucked up
Harley Quinn is hilarious to me.
It-
To me, to me, I look at her as he's like one of the best like comic relief characters ever created. I know that wasn't her. I know she provides more than that, but like, yeah,
You know you're big when you start off in the cartoon instead of the comics, and you're bigger in the comics than the. So yeah, she's one of those where she didn't even start off in the comic books. It was a cartoon,
yeah.
and now she's everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tara Strong, but anyway,
Shout out to Tara Strong. She the greatest.
hmm
Anyway, we about to get into our final thoughts, and I'm starting with Dion.
okay, so I saw on the topic list something about E3 with Nintendo was mentioned. Why is Kazuya from Tekken and Smash Brothers?
Because
Why?
Namco
Same
Bandai
motherfucking
makes
question I
Smash.
asked.
Because Namco Bandai makes Smash. You know they got to put something with it.
Okay,
Mr. Pac-Man.
I was about to say, okay, I get Pac-Man, but now I feel like you're just throwing random characters from fighting games in here now.
They've been doing that for like the past Battle Pass. You got Ryu, you got Ken, you got
No,
Terry Bogard.
but the thing about
Ryu and
Ryu and
Ken,
Ken
I
is they
understood.
make sense.
Ryu and Ken, I understood. Like most motherfuckers who played like the old Street Fighter games had that shit on Super Nintendo.
Thank
So
you.
Ryu and Ken, I understand.
No, I understood that too because like Street Fighter is probably the most, but other than Mario games, it's the most sold game on the Super Nintendo console. So I can
Not,
understand why that was there.
and you want to talk about ruined friendships over games, my nigga?
Play Mario Party. Shit.
Yeah, play Mario
uh,
Party.
no, Street Fighter has Mario Party beat. I don't give a fuck.
No, you
That is
no
not fucking true, and you know it.
no.
Mario Party will destroy a relationship faster than any motherfucking game.
Mario is Mario Party, Mario Kart, Def Jam Fight for New York, and then Street Fighter.
I don't know about Fight for New York, but I'll give you Mario Kart, definitely Mario Kart and Mario Party. I don't know about Fight for New York.
People used to hate me because I picked David Banner and all I did was haymaker people.
Oh, but see, oh, but
because he will
I
literally
mean,
knock you out. He will knock you out in like 4 blows. He's literally the strongest character in the game, and all you have to do is just haymaker him, and people hated that.
I mean, people hated me regardless of who I used, just because I knew how to block everything. So against me, whatever you try is getting countered.
Yeah, that sounds like a personal problem to them, then.
Like I
Oh,
played it
people
enough
just
where like
if you
I
pick it.
knew how to block, deflect, cancel everything. Anything, all your so-called finishing moves, you're getting countered. You trying to grab me, smack you in the face, get off me. You can spam haymakers. Oh, I used to love the dudes that would spam haymakers. I'd have a field day with you.
Oh yeah, and I forgot. I would probably put GoldenEye if you're picking Odd Job over Street Fighter.
No,
That
no,
that
you are
fucking
not
hack.
bringing that shit back up.
That fucking hack.
I hate it when he brings that shit up.
That fucking hack.
Golden. Oh
No
yeah.
reason to pick that character whatsoever.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Oh man. Okay. Is that it, Dion? You got anything else?
Also, is it me or and I spoke about this to some other friends of mine. Did Nintendo just kind of let Star Fox die?
Star Fox ain't dead.
Like
He in Smash, ain't he?
when
Yeah.
I mean, I'm yeah, he's gonna appear in Smash Brothers, but like the actual Star Fox series, they just let that die. I think the last Star Fox game was on the fucking GameCube.
Boy, you are way off.
Either the
Way
GameCube or the
off.
Wii. I don't think
You're
they got
way
anything for the
off.
Wii U. I don't think they got
Way
anything for the
off.
Wii U. They definitely don't have anything for the Switch.
He definitely was on the Wii U.
What do you? What do you?
There's definitely a Star Fox game on the Wii U.
I don't remember seeing or hearing nor hearing that motherfucker.
Just check it out. There's definitely a Star Fox game on the Wii U.
Way
And I
off.
and then even still, the Switch has been out for how many years now? Star Fox has gotten nothing.
What, like
5.
2?
Switch has been out for 5 years.
Damn.
And Star Fox has gotten nothing.
Okay. Just put the Wii U onto the Switch. What you need a new one
Mario
for?
gets. You do realize Mario gets one game, like a full 3D Mario game, like one game a system. 2 if you're lucky.
What else could they do?
Mario, but then Mario gets all the different offshoot games and shit like that. So it's just like no matter what you do, no matter where you go, Mario's always going to be in your face in some way, shape, or form when it comes to Nintendo. They make it a point to feed you Mario, be it Mario Party, Mario Tennis. Shit, Mario had a fucking basketball game at one point. They need to bring back that baseball joint, that Super Sluggers shit. That shit was fun. But
No, the Strikers was.
No,
fire.
Strikers was the soccer joint.
I think it was Mario Sluggers or something like that.
Yeah, Super Sluggers. I had that on the Wii. They need to do another Mario baseball game because that shit was fun.
I mean, they just
All
brought
their
back
sports games are fun.
Yeah, they just brought back Mario Golf and they just remade Mario Party 4, I think. So
It's a Mario Party like All Stars. It's basically a mashup of like all like the most popular games from like the past Mario parties.
4.
But shit. Shit, if we're talking Mario sports games, shit, get that Mario Tennis Aces for the Switch. That shit is bomb. But anyway, my my point is this: other than stuff we kind of already knew was coming, like Nintendo kind of let people down. There was a lot.
I've seen different.
I mean, yeah, there are a lot of people who are cool with it. I mean, I feel like okay, there's things people were wanting to see and hear more about that. We got something completely different. It was just like, what the fuck? Um, I am hyped for that new Metroid game, Metroid Dread. But as much as we've been hearing about how there was a Metroid Prime 4 in the works, I wanted to see and hear more about that. I was hoping to get some form of, some more info, some gameplay or whatever for that. Not saying I'm just going to disregard Metroid Dread. I am going to get that just because it's been too long since we got a new Metroid game. The last Metroid game we got was on Samus Returns, which was a remake of Metroid 2 from the Game Boy. But it is what it is.
Is that it?
Yeah, basically.
I tell you didn't like Advance Wars.
I never played any of the previous ones, so I had nothing to say about it.
I was always better in Advance Wars, but I was kind of happy for that. So, but that's just me. And then you ain't like Breath of the Wild too?
I mean, we already knew that. We already knew that was coming. We knew that was coming from last year. I liked seeing the gameplay of how they changed certain stuff from the original. I'm curious to see what the fuck they did to Hyrule Castle that all of a sudden is floating in the air once we get to the story of that game. But outside of that, I was just like, we already knew this was coming.
All right. D Wolf is on you. Final thoughts?
Well, I'll take it to one of the topics we were talking about. Yeah, just be creative and recognize that there are a lot of characters out there that represent us, and nobody's paying attention. And like you got to stop following trends like that, If you're into something, like do some research behind it. Make sure you're not led in the trend. Lead in the trend if that's what it's got to be. And yeah, that's it.
I totally agree. Crystal, was on you.
All right. Well, the quote that I'm about to say is from Malcolm X. It says, if you're not careful, the newspapers will have you hating the people who are being open and loving the people who are doing the oppression. And I also wanted to say this week, I'm kind of proud of myself because I started doing tarot readings. And I'll be officially creating my Instagram account to get clients as Red Raven 11. So those are just my thoughts.
I am
I mean,
proud of you, and I'm
I've
also
always
scared of
wanted
you
to
at the
try
same
that.
time.
Why? Explain.
Wait,
I have insight. I'm just using my.
no, it's like I've always wanted to try that.
No,
Yeah.
she was talking about me because I said I'm proud of you and I'm scared of you at the same time. It's just
Right. Why?
something. I don't want to call it voodoo because I do think because I do believe in astrology. I do, even though like I'm a Christian, I do believe in astrology and I do believe in tarot readers. It's just some things I just don't want to know.
Right. Well, it depends.
No,
What?
I'm curious about certain shit. I always wanted to do one.
So I'm taking clients. So whoever wants to try it out, you already.
We'll talk we'll talk more about this when we're done here. But
All right.
anyway,
Let me know how it goes, and I just
Yo, I'm a client. I'll tell you, it's accurate.
Thank you.
It's accurate.
I salute all y'all. And again, congratulations, Crystal. Congrats. Father is on you.
So I want to give myself a shout out because in next month it'll be my 10-year anniversary of sexual discipline. 10 years.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Damn.
Wait a minute. Not to interrupt you. I'm so sorry. What was that? You said Discord was the last.
No, I said the next month coming, right? July.
Mm-hmm.
It will be my 10-year anniversary of sexual discipline.
Oh, congratulations.
Got to be one of the hardest things I ever fucking did.
Oh yeah.
That's why I
Yeah.
said
Holy
congratulations.
shit. My God.
Yeah,
But
I feel you. It was like one time when I was celibate for some time, I was down bad and everything. Just like I look like the dude from Down Bad. That's
bro, I've been there.
the sir is just I've been
Oh my God, that shit is hard.
it was. I know there was one time where I would catch myself staring at people and I was like I should not stop, but it's like at times I didn't care either. I just stared and then just went on about my business. I said I need to stop. So
oh
congratulations
my
to
god.
that too, Father, because that takes discipline.
And that's like my main thing about it. It was just to discipline myself. And I feel like because of it, I've been able to do things and I've been able to I'll be able to think about things like in different ways and shit like that. So that shit is life changing. I don't care what nobody say. That shit will actually fucking change your life. That shit will make you a man right there. That's what makes you a fucking man.
I don't know how you did it, but I guess that's for another time.
I will say good anime and the African willpower. That's what's been keeping me going.
Shit, I'm gonna need some of that. Uh, okay. Happy to see Samoa Joe back on WWE or at least NXT because I feel like he's the most comfortable there. And then watching him choke out Adam Cole was like the funniest slash most badass thing I've seen on that for a
There
while.
was something satisfying about that. I can't explain it. And it's not
Because
even, I have nothing against Adam Cole. He's one of my favorite talents on NXT. But there was something satisfying about seeing Samoa Joe strangle his ass that I can't quite put my fucking finger on.
I think it's because it's the closest thing to seeing him wrestle in like a year and a half.
You know what? You might be right.
Like watch it, like I said, it was satisfying to me too. Watching him take off his jacket and then put him in a coquina clutch and drop him. And he said when he wakes up, tell him Mr. Regal wants a reply. I said, wow, that was badass. And it's like he looked like he was at home at NXT. Like he looked like he enjoyed himself. So, so I'm proud. Like I said, I'm proud of my man Samoa Joe.
Wasn't, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Samoa Joe the first two-time NXT champion?
Yes.
Okay, just confirming that. Anyway,
Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna say that. Also, I felt sorry for Naomi to her having to be squashed by Eva Marie slash Piper Niven. Um, poor Naomi again, jobbing out. And also, it is Pride Month, and the way I've been seeing everyone, the way they've been representing Pride Month, I'm really like. It makes me think that I feel like, do we do this much for Black History Month? Like the way
No,
they've been going, you don't think so? I've been saying that too. I don't think we do this for like like Black History Month and all that other stuff, where it's just like they're getting their stories out. It's like you see like everywhere you go, you see a rainbow. You see companies just like changing their logos to rainbows and all that other stuff, and it's
it's
just
a
right.
like
money thing.
I mean, for God's sakes, like I play Rocket League. Dog, Rocket League added Montero from Lil Nas X to their music playlist.
that's funny. They could have added Elton John or anybody. They added Lil Nas
They
X.
got they got Lil Nas X. They got Big Frida on them motherfucker and a couple of others. I have no clue who the fuck they
Wow.
are.
So they have a whole LGBT playlist.
Pretty much.
Okay, and I don't have a problem with what the LGBT is doing. They're doing their thing. It's just more or less I want like I've said this before, like in one of my recent memories, and I still kind of want this. Like I do want a Black Pride parade, just like they have a Gay Pride parade and all that other stuff. Just just to celebrate our culture and Black culture. And like even though like yes, we do have Black History Month, I just feel like we don't do enough.
I
And it's
feel
just
like.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
No, because I was just gonna say I want to see like more document, like I said, more documentaries, or at least let's be in the now or creative. Like let's
I don't
make
like the fact that we got the shortest month of the fucking year.
it's not the, that doesn't bother me because actually February is very long. I think that's why it's so short because February is a very long month, except for this month because it went by very fucking fast. But
I mean,
usually February is the longest month. I don't like the fact that it's in the winter time. June is Pride Month, and they're in the summer, and like even though I love the winter, but they're in the summer, and they're doing their thing in the summer and all that other stuff. And it's hot ass weather, and they can party all day. Ain't nobody partying in the fucking
right,
cold
they can
unless your
party all
team
day
loses.
and wear whatever the fuck they want, and you
Yeah,
know,
ain't nobody partying in the cold unless your team won the fucking Super Bowl. I have never like even the Macy's Day Parade, like white people out there, black people, we like our heat. So it's just that I
a
want
lot, a lot of black folk I don't stop fucking with Macy's in general in the first place.
yeah. But also I'm saying is just like I want us to as black people to do more for our month. It's like
Yeah. I don't know so much about the parade because I feel like that makes us targets. I'm sorry. It's just too much going on right now. It's like, oh yeah, we're gonna go. I can
We
see
can
it.
come
I
up with
can
something for
see trouble.
security. We can come up with something for security and shit. Come on.
Man,
I just want to see black
scared.
people march down the street and not for a fucking protest, just to
Yeah.
celebrate.
Yeah,
Like
you're
I
right.
feel
That would be
like
nice.
when I see Pride Month, it's just like, and they're all happy, they're doing their thing, they're being freedom and all that other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. I'm for that. You should have that. I'm for that. But it seems like every time when black people marching down the street, it's for a traumatic expense, and
Yeah.
oh,
Tired of
I
seeing that.
yeah, and I'm sick of seeing that. It's like they have a Puerto Rican Day. I know they have a Puerto Rican Day parade in New York, and that should be fly as hell. They have a Caribbean Day parade, and I love seeing the outfits and them dancing off of that. I just want a Black Pride parade. Hell, they even had a straight Pride parade, which to this day I think it was a joke.
That
But
shit was funny as hell, though. I'm
Oh,
not gonna lie.
what?
yo, that shit was funny.
How is this not
They did
Man,
that
classic?
again.
No, I don't think they're doing it
man.
again. But the time that it did happen, like me and Father both said, this is the funniest shit ever. And the funniest thing
I think it
is,
happened last year. I think they were planning to do that last year, the year before.
really?
I thought that was
Straight
a
Gay
pride.
one-time
straight
thing.
pride parade.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
I
I
am
the
thought it was a
funny,
so
one-time
confused.
thing.
the funniest thing about that is I heard from a straight pride parade from gay people or the LGBT because they was complaining about it, and I said like, if it wasn't for y'all, I wouldn't even know about this. So,
Yeah,
It
that's
had
the
to be
funniest part.
and that's the
that,
funniest part. And
but then that's the part that makes me think that had to have been a joke.
I thought they was trolling the whole time. It's like the whole straight pride,
Right.
and like they had a straight flag and everything, and like the
What?
funny part is when the parade happened.
Wait, no, hold on. Wait, stop. Because I have to ask, what did this flag look like?
I don't remember. I will look it up and like I will send you the picture. But there was a straight
No,
pride.
I'm getting on Google right now because just I have to know. I have to know. No.
I think it was both. It was the idea was a trolling thing, but a lot of them take it seriously. It's both.
Pride
It started off as a trolling idea because I remember when it was, I remember when it was starting.
flag.
Yeah, and they had Mino. What's his name? Mino Yiannopoulos or something
Get
like
the
that.
fuck. No, I'm about to say on this picture. I found it.
Yeah,
Yeah, and he was
I
leading
already
it,
see it.
and he's a like a Republican gay dude, and I was like, this is definitely a troll. And then people got mad. I was just like, the more you get mad at it, the more publicity you're giving it. It's just like
hmm
so like in conclusion, because I don't want to make this too long. I would like to have a Black Pride parade, celebrate our culture, and let's be in it now. Like it's good to know our history. Let's be in it now. Let's celebrate our life now. I know we're not in the most. What's the word? I just don't want it to be traumatic. I just wanted us to be like a happy day where we can celebrate. Hell, we can at least do it on June 19th, since Juneteenth is a holiday. Let's have a
Hmm.
parade on that day. All right, let's make something good out of it.
Right.
And that's all my final thoughts. I would like to thank the panel for jumping on the podcast. I would like to thank all of y'all for listening to hear us talk our shit again. This is You Know What? Let me just say podcast, and we are signing out. Peace.
Peace.
Cheers.